what do you think actually does the terminal value get impacted?
Yeah.
And जो different types of IT businesses हैं, तो उसमें से कौन से segment पे सबसे ज़्यादा impact हो सकता है?
The terminal value question, frankly, is quite hard to answer because there have been so many cycles.
कि आप मैन पावर हायर करो, ग्रोथ दिखाओ, मैन पावर और हायर करो, ग्रोथ दिखाओ. तो बेसिकली दैट ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेस मॉडल ब्रेक हो गया इस टाइम पे. इज दैट करेक्ट टू से?
So if you think about a business, there are two types of functions. Functions that are revenue generating and everything else.
What do you think कि which segment has the maximum opportunity from here जहाँ पे ये disruption का risk कम हो and maybe they also end up benefiting from this?
Do it with me. I'll give you a better price than if you went to 4-5 different people and you can show large TCV deal wins.
Hi investors, welcome to SOIC. So in this video today, what we'll be doing is that we'll be talking about the IT sector. कि IT sector में क्या disruption हो रही है? Because IT sector index has been one of the worst performing index since the last 1 year. And ऐसे falls and acceleration IT sector में past 10 years में multiple times आए हैं. So today I have with me Siddhant. So Siddhant is the CIO at Persistence Capital. And he's been tracking the IT sector for almost last 10 years. And he has looked at multiple business models. So I thought, who better than him to decode the IT sector carnage with us?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, and hopefully, I can add some value. And we've been studying this space for like 5-6 years now.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah, since we got to know each other. So the sector has evolved a lot over time.
तो सिद्धांत IT सेक्टर की अगर अभी हम डिस्कशन करते हैं तो IT सेक्टर में एक तो जनरली अभी क्या हो रहा है बिकॉज विप्रो जैसी कंपनी के लिए 20% फॉल करना लास्ट 1 मंथ में इट्स लाइक HDFC बैंक क्रैकिंग बाय 20-25%. इवन TCS हैज क्रैक्ड बाय 15% एंड एक पूरा नैरेटिव बन गया है अराउंड AI.
तो पहली चीज तो ये है कि जो इंडिया का स्टॉक मार्केट है उसका लॉन्ग टर्म सक्सेस हैज एक्चुअली बीन लिंक्ड टू IT सर्विसेज. सो हमने एक इंटरेस्टिंग एनालिसिस किया था मेरे पुराने जॉब में. इफ यू गो फ्रॉम post.com bubble till 2021, what is the best performing benchmark globally? It's Nasdaq 100, right? Because if we start at the bottom of the .com bubble and go all the way till sort of the peak digitization sort of tailwind post-COVID, what was the best performing index? Nasdaq. What was the only country outside of the US that had businesses which were levered to Nasdaq? Indian IT services.
Right.
And Indian IT services का जो weightage था Nifty 50 में, I think it peaked at about 16-17%. But broadly, it has always been in the 11 to 16 to 17% range over the last 20 years. तो ये जो Nasdaq level पे global digitization tailwind है, that actually benefited Indian IT services companies over 20 years. So if you look at the Nifty IT services index, till that period, over 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, its returns were like Nasdaq 100. So we had our own mini Nasdaq within India. That's why India का जो stock market है, at least until very recently, was one of the best performing stock markets in the world over a very long period of time after the US. What made the US special was Nasdaq, and India was arguably the only country outside of the US जहाँ पे 10 से 15% sector representation था in businesses that also benefited from the global digitization. But since then, the narrative has changed. So first thing, I find it funny, there was this narrative built over the last 20 months that small caps are risky, large caps are safe, and within large caps, the IT services stocks they low because they are in line with their long-term multiples. And just this year alone, I think TCS is down 14%, Wipro is down like 20%. If you look at the 1-year drawdown or the 3 or 5-year drawdown, 5-year return TCS का शायद 2 या 3% एनुअलाइज्ड होगा.
करेक्ट. मैंने निफ्टी इंडेक्स से तो बहुत ही पीछे है.
बहुत ही पीछे.
इन्फ्लेशन से भी पीछे एक्चुअली.
स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स से भी पीछे.
करेक्ट.
इवन अगर आप लास्ट 15 महीने 18 महीने में दे दो, जैसे परसिस्टेंस कैपिटल तो लॉन्च हुआ था पीक ऑफ द स्मॉल कैप बुल मार्केट पे इन सितंबर 2024, राइट? दैट टाइम नैरेटिव ये था कि आपको लार्ज कैप्स लेना चाहिए और लार्ज कैप्स में यू वांट टू बाय स्टेबल बिजनेसेस बिकॉज दे डिफेंड कैपिटल वेल इन डाउनटर्न्स. इफ यू हैड बॉट TCS देन you would have done much worse than the small cap index.
Right.
So it's not just कि इस साल का drawdown ज़्यादा है, like 10-15%. If you look at the peak to trough drawdown, it is like a small cap stock that is doing really badly. Is this कि आपको small cap में वो पेन 1 महीने में दिख जाएगा, large cap में 15 महीने लगेंगे. Lekin the end state is the same, businesses are slaves to earnings. So the damage is quite substantial, which is why you have been getting questions, I've been getting questions, कि what do we do? Is this the time to bottom fish or are we catching a falling knife?
Or is it the time to buy the dip?
Yeah, exactly.
एंड आई थिंक एक जो क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड टू द आईटी सेक्टर है कि मतलब देखो अर्निंग्स ग्रोथ तो आईटी सेक्टर की जैसे टीसीएस इन्फोसिस इन सब की तो टॉप लाइन ग्रोथ 4 to 6% ही है।
Yeah,
आज
yeah.
साल की भी गाइडेंस देखेंगे तो 4 to 6% की है।
Yeah.
बट आई थिंक मार्केट हैज टेकन अ व्यू बिकॉज ऑफ एआई कि यहाँ पे जो कंपनीज की टर्मिनल वैल्यू है,
Yeah.
बिकॉज जब हम कंपनीज की वैल्यूएशन करते हैं तो उनका अर्निंग्स बेस्ड एनालिसिस है और फिर एक है कि फॉरएवर फॉर एन नंबर ऑफ इयर्स किस रेट पे ग्रो करेंगे।
Yeah. Yeah.
तो आई थिंक टर्मिनल वैल्यू पे कहीं ना कहीं एडजस्टमेंट इस टाइम पे मार्केट एक ओपिनियन ले रही है।
Exactly. Yeah.
राइट, सो एक्चुअली में एक जो क्वेश्चन यहाँ राइज करता है कि व्हाट डू यू थिंक एक्चुअली डज द टर्मिनल वैल्यू गेट इम्पैक्टेड,
Yeah.
एंड जो डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ आईटी बिजनेसेस हैं तो उसमें से कौन से सेगमेंट पे सबसे ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है?
Yeah. So the terminal value question, frankly, is quite hard to answer because there have been so many cycles. जैसे Y2K का एक disruption था in the year 2000. Then there was obviously the whole software is moving from on-premise to cloud. So instead of custom software being built for different companies, we will buy software as a service. तो आप Workday से tools लोगे, Salesforce से tools लोगे, and it is sort of highly generalizable software जो आप फिर customize कर सकते हो for आपके end use. So people thought that would spell the end of IT services. ये fear था around 2016, 2017 era में. They realized that that was overblown. In fact, that implementation is what drove IT services revenue growth after that. So there have been fears of terminal value several times in the past. The last instance being literally, I think, 8-10 years ago. That, I think, is a very difficult question to answer because it goes into deeper downstream effects. कि if IT service jobs ही नहीं बचे तो फिर white collar work का क्या होगा? I will posit कि एक simpler effect है जो आप deny नहीं कर सकते हो, which is the deflationary impact on revenue.
ऐसा क्यों है?
Simple है, मतलब in the sense कि if you hear the recent interview जो Anthropic का founder ने दिया है, I think he made this very insane sounding prediction about a year ago. 90% of the code at Anthropic will be written by Claude, which is their own AI model.
Right.
90% of the code. Now remember, ये लोग basic application development maintenance नहीं कर रहे हैं, which some Indian IT services firms are doing. They are at the cutting edge of frontier model development. And he made the prediction that 90% of that code will be written by AI. So if that code is being written by AI, तो आप assume कर सकते हो that for simpler projects, maybe a greater percentage, or if not greater, an equal percentage of the software will initially at least be written by AI.
Right.
That will mean that it is faster to write code. And if it's faster to write code, perhaps you don't get rid of the human. But for इंसान का काम क्या है? Code check करना. Right? तो maybe आपको इतने लोग नहीं चाहिए code check करने के लिए. Maybe आपके manpower hours fall हो जाते हैं.
And जो आपके billable hours हैं.
Billable hours हैं वो fall हो जाते हैं. And if you look, ये companies last 10 साल में their revenue would have gone up 3x, 4x, persistent के case में maybe 7, 8x, 10x, whatever, except for small IT services companies which have improved margin because of operating leverage. Because एक बार आपकी sales team US में build हो जाती है, there's some operating leverage. Which large cap IT services company has shown EBITDA margin expansion? No one.
Yeah.
So even in this business model, productivity gains have to be passed on to the end customer. If you don't, someone else might.
It's a B2B business at the end, right?
It's a B2B business where, of course, your differentiation is कि आपके relationships हैं, you're good at executing code. But I mean, I would argue that outside of very specialized domains, Infosys के पास भी शायद वो relationships अगर TCS के पास हैं, and they might be reasonably good at executing code. तो अगर आप productivity benefits अपने client को नहीं दे रहे हो, there is a temptation for them to move to someone else, even if there is a lot of effort involved in context switching, which is why even before AI, 10 साल से operating margin नहीं बढ़ा. Now you add on the fact, जैसे एक meme था, I think Twitter पे 1 week ago, I think Deloitte या KPMG, there was some auditor who asked their own auditor to cut the price because they are using AI to audit the Big Four. And फिर एक meme बन गया कि देखो Big Four is basically signing its own death warrant because वो लोग बोल रहे हैं that because of AI ये auditing का काम fast हो गया तो आपको price काटनी पड़ेगी. तो वो Big Four का भी end काम तो यही है. And they themselves are saying that cut price for whoever their auditor is. So why will this not happen to IT services?
Right.
और इसमें मैं एक simple चीज़ बोलूँगा. Like, let's take the case of IndiaMart as example. We don't deny that there will be a listings business 10 years from now. But multiple 50 से 20 पे इसलिए नहीं गया because terminal value risk पे लोगों का व्यू इतना चेंज हुआ है. वो इसलिए गया because लोगों को लग रहा है इसमें ग्रोथ ही नहीं आ गई. पहले आती थी 20-25% बिलिंग्स ग्रोथ, अब 10-15% भी आ जाती है तो
इवन द ऑपरेटिंग मार्जिन बढ़ गया.
ऑपरेटिंग मार्जिन बढ़ गया. तो जो IT बुल्स हैं वो बोल रहे हैं कि but मेरा operating margin बढ़ जाएगा because my engineers will be more productive. They would be wise to study what happened to India Mart. Operating margins have expanded,
Right.
revenue growth has collapsed, multiple has collapsed. And आज भी I think Nifty IT का P multiple क्या होगा? 23 trailing?
हाँ 23 TTM पे आई थिंक फॉरवर्ड पे 18 19 20 के आसपास लगा लो
18, 19, 20 भी श्रद्धा की बात है because they are assuming 10-12% revenue growth.
21 22 ऐसे range।
Exactly. अब आप किसी को स्टॉक पिच करो कि यार आई एम पिचिंग यू कंपनी एक्स, इट इज एट 21p, माय सेल्स ग्रोथ इज 5% डॉलर विद रूपी डेप्रिसिएशन 8%, ऑपरेटिंग लेवरेज नहीं होगा, और बाय द वे 5% डॉलर पे भी डिफ्लेशनरी रिस्क है, ये 5 कैन बिकम 3,
करेक्ट,
बट डोंट वरी मैं डिविडेंड और बायबैक करूंगा 3-4%. इज दैट एन एक्साइटिंग पिच?
इंडेक्स ही 12-13% रिटर्न देता है।
एक टाइम पे तो देता ही था.
हाँ, अभी तो नहीं दे रहा, बट 12-13% अस्यूम तो करना ही चाहिए 12% में।
एग्जैक्टली. बट माय पॉइंट इज कि अब आईटी सर्विसेज स्टॉक्स कौन ले गए? या तो डीआईएस ले गए, एफआईएस ले गए. डीआईएस वांट एटलीस्ट इन्फ्लेशन रिटर्न्स. इन्फ्लेशन रिटर्न्स आर सपोज 8%, बट 8% तो हम बोल रहे हैं बेस्ट केस अर्निंग्स ग्रोथ है. अगर रेवेन्यू डिफ्लेशन नहीं हुआ, अगर रुपी डिप्रिशिएट हुआ 3%, अब वो अगर 8 बिकम्स 5, तो आप कैपिटल रिटर्न डाल के 6-7 तक खींच लोगे, फिर क्या? सो यू आर बाइंग a company at above the index market P multiple, where your best case return might be 7-8%. Is that exciting? Now let's flip the narrative दूसरी तरीके से. एक हो गया DIS, अब बेचारे FIS का सोचो, वो लोग क्यों लेंगे IT सर्विसेज स्टॉक्स? उनको मिल रहा है 8% रुपी रिटर्न, उस पे पहले वो भरेंगे कैपिटल गेन्स टैक्स
और फिर
डेप्रिसिएशन करेंगे. तो उनको डेप्रिसिएशन का ऑपरेटिंग मार्जिन पे तो कोई बेनिफिट मिला नहीं, और रिटर्न्स में सब चला गया. एफएक्स, इमेजिन लास्ट 1 साल में यू आर द हीरो आईटी सर्विसेज कंपनी ऑफ इंडिया, आपने 8% नॉमिनल रुपी रिटर्न दिखा भी दिया, एंड में एफआई को क्या मिला? 0% बिफोर इंडियन कैपिटल गेन्स टैक्सेस, बिकॉज 8% तो रुपी का एफएक्स डेप्रिसिएशन रेट है. नाउ लोग बोलते हैं कि आईटी सर्विसेज कंपनीज डू वेल इन अ डेप्रिशिएटिंग रुपी एनवायरमेंट. Yes, provided there's no deflationary impact on their own business.
Correct.
And now over here it looks like there is, because Big Four is what? It's outsourced auditing, outsourced accounting. They themselves are asking their own service partners to provide the benefits of AI cost reduction to them.
एक्चुअली में देखा जाए सिर्फ इंडियन आईटी कंपनीज नहीं है, मतलब एक्सेंचर का भी अगर कोई लास्ट 5 years का स्टॉक प्राइस है तो इट्स लाइक बीन फ्लैटिश टू डाउनवर्ड्स ओनली.
Yeah, exactly.
Now just before going forward, if you are loving this video, then you will love our workshop also, because our workshop का टॉपिक ही क्या है? फाइंडिंग यूनिक मार्केट लीडर्स इन अ बेयर मार्केट. तो इस वर्कशॉप के अंदर, चेन्नई के अंदर, व्हाट वील बी डूइंग इज दैट हम इमर्जिंग मार्केट लीडर्स एंड यूनिक बिजनेसेस का डिस्कशन करेंगे कि इन बिजनेसेस में क्या कंपेटिटिव एडवांटेजेस हैं, मोट है, और आप इंडिपेंडेंटली कैसे ढूंढ सकते हैं. तो दिस वर्कशॉप इज हैपनिंग ऑन 22nd of February at Hilton Hotel in Chennai, and I will see most of you there hopefully, because we are left with only 20 to 25 seats. Apart from this, what we do at SYC membership is that we are a teaching organization which teaches about financial planning, about fundamental analysis, about finding intrinsic valuation of stocks and portfolio allocation. And level 4 में we teach you about when to buy or sell stocks में, in terms की आप framework कैसे बना सकते हैं independently of how to buy and sell में, कि technicals के through कैसे आप selling भी सीख सकते हैं, and fundamentally भी क्या selling के reasons होते हैं. And साथ साथ level 5 में we teach you how to screen for stocks, and level 6 में we teach you about how to look at different sectors, है कि different sectors की language क्या होती है. इसके साथ 2 added bonus है. एक added bonus है कि AI investing की master class is included for the SYC members, जिसकी master class का 2.0 भी आएगा, जब मैं आपको agents बनाने सिखाएंगे कि आप agents कैसे बना सकते हैं अपने लैपटॉप के ऊपर, which can do the entire like research work for you. And secondly, there's an added bonus of insights with Ishmoit कि what is our market views, कि टॉप डाउन हमें मार्केट का क्या लग रहा है, राइट, वेदर विच सेक्टर इज डूइंग वेल टॉप डाउन कौन से इंडेक्स में क्या चल रहा है, एंड मार्केट की अर्निंग्स को क्या हो रहा है. जैसे हमने लास्ट 7 to 8 months में पूरी बेयर मार्केट की साइकिल अपने स्टूडेंट्स के साथ कवर करी है कि टॉप डाउन से मार्केट में क्या हो रहा है. दीज 2 bonuses आर पार्ट ऑफ द SYC membership. If you want to register for the SYC membership, there's a one-time coupon code SYC bonus 10 that you can use to get a 10% off to the intrinsic value. And if you want to come and meet us in Chennai, so the link to register for the Chennai workshop is also there in the description box below. With this, I'll see you in the workshop, and let's go back to the video. तो यहाँ पे से एक क्वेश्चन आता है, जो ट्रेडिशनल आईटी सर्विसेज बिजनेस मॉडल था, जो हमने देखा कि यार एक लीनियर बिजनेस मॉडल कि आप मैन पावर हायर करो, ग्रोथ दिखाओ, मैन पावर और हायर करो, ग्रोथ दिखाओ. तो बेसिकली दैट ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेस मॉडल ब्रेक हो गया इस टाइम पे. इज दैट करेक्ट टू से?
I mean, to make a very definitive statement that it has broken down forever is hard.
Right.
We have to be humble in the face of what we don't know. But it is hard to deny that the deflationary impact has kicked in. Now you can sit and debate कि आगे 3% deflation होगा per year, 5% होगा, 10% होगा, वो हम बैठ के डिबेट कर सकते हैं.
करेक्ट.
बट ये इंडस्ट्री उसके पहले 8% ग्रो हो रही है. एक्चुअली हमने इंटरेस्टिंग डेटा पुल किया. इट्स हार्ड टू एस्टिमेट कि जीसीसीज का रेवेन्यू इंडिया में कितना ग्रो हो रहा है, बट वी कैन चेक जीसीसी लीजिंग एज अ प्रॉक्सी. और आप इतना तो मान ही सकते हो कि उनका जो रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ होगा that should be in line or higher than their leasing activity per year, right? Because that's like you have to see some benefit, right? If you're renting all the space. And we found that GCC leasing is growing 15% a year. So even before this whole IT services AI fear, it is very clear that GCCs were gaining share on IT services.
Just for the audience, GCC को थोड़ा simplify करके बता दें.
GCC is basically a global capability center. So if you think about a business, there are two types of functions. Functions that are revenue generating and everything else. Right. So like Google का example ले लेते हैं. Maybe Google's sort of biggest sort of cash cow today is obviously search. So the engineers who are building search, they are all largely sitting in the Bay Area. Now let's say they have the rest of the team. They have an HR team. They have a content moderation team. They have an accounting, payroll, ops team. These are important business functions, but they're not revenue generating business functions. They should, technically speaking, be outsourced to a jurisdiction where the work is good enough, but there's cost saving. So either the company is more profitable or it has more money to reinvest in R&D or to improve the search algorithm. So Google will set up a global capability center in India and try and outsource all non-core business functions. Historically, this work used to be done by IT services.
Right.
So for example, United Health, it's the largest payer provider business in the US, right? So they used to outsource stuff, but now their GCC is an integral part of how they're growing their company.
आई थिंक जीसीसी से ये भी हो, देख तो कॉस्ट सेविंग हो जाती है आपकी, एंड दूसरा आपका वर्क इज वेरी स्पेशलाइज्ड टू योर कंपनीज नीड्स.
एग्जैक्टली.
तो यू आर एबल टू ट्रेन योर एम्प्लॉइज ऑन दैट बेसिस.
और आपका जो बिजनेस कॉन्टेक्स्ट है दैट स्टेज विद इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. नाउ द चैलेंज विद डूइंग जीसीसीज हिस्टोरिकली इज कि आपको दूसरे जुरिस्डिक्शन में इंजीनियर्स हायर करने.
राइट.
एंड सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग, इफ यू रिमेंबर द जोक फॉर द लास्ट 10 years है कि मम्मी पापा बोलते हैं कि बड़ा होकर सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर बन जाओ, आपको H1B वीजा मिल जाएगा और आप यूएस में नौकरी कर सकते हो, या फिर एटलीस्ट इंडिया में यू विल हैव अ स्टेबल आईटी सर्विसेज जॉब. सो इट वाज हार्ड फॉर कंपनी व्हिच इज नॉट इवन फ्रॉम इंडिया कि अब आप इंडिया आओ, जीसीसी सेटअप करो, navigate all the regulatory things you have to get past to set it up, and then now go and find good engineers and hire. But what is AI doing? It's making everyone not an engineer, but at least you can do maybe basic engineering tasks yourself because you're just typing in English. So now even that barrier that IT services maybe are solving for, कि हम इतने freshers hire करते हैं, हम उनको training देते हैं, हमारा standardized protocol है, maybe that's not that important because the LLM can do that for you. And so anyway, even before AI, GCCs were gaining share.
That is interesting. तो बेसिकली कि अभी तक जो हमारा ट्रेडिशनल आईटी बिजनेस मॉडल है, हम डेफिनेटली ये नहीं कह सकते ब्रेक हुआ है, बट डिसरप्शन के साइंस हैं जो हमें पी मल्टीपल्स में दिख रहा है, जो स्टॉक प्राइसेस में दिख रहा है, एंड ऑलरेडी एक डिफ्लेशनरी ट्रेंड रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ पे आ सकता है इन कंपनीज के, इन स्पाइट ऑफ कि अगर कंपनी के शायद से मार्जिन भी बढ़ जाए. पर यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन आता है कि एक अब ऑडियंस के लिए अगर और सिंप्लीफाई करें तो डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ आईटी बिजनेसेस क्या हैं, एंड एज पर योर थॉट प्रोसेस कि आपने जो भी आईटी बिजनेसेस पढ़े ओवर द इयर्स, व्हाट डू यू थिंक कि विच सेगमेंट हैज द मैक्सिमम अपॉर्चुनिटी फ्रॉम हियर जहाँ पे ये डिस्ट्रप्शन का रिस्क कम हो, एंड मे बी दे आल्सो एंड अप बेनिफिटिंग फ्रॉम दिस डिस्ट्रप्शन?
Sure. So broadly, if you break up the Indian sort of IT services landscape, there are like 5 broad categories. One is your large cap IT providers. I mean, obviously they can do everything under the sun. They can do ER&D. They can sell products, like HCL has products and ER&D. They obviously do the core sort of BPO, KPO type work as well. They do application development and testing. So their value proposition is vendor consolidation. That if you go to a big company like Apple and you tell them, these are the 8-10 things that you would like to outsource, do it with me. I'll give you a better price than if you went to 4-5 different people, and you can show large TCV deal wins. So that is your large IT service providers. There I would argue that they are the largest line item that a CIO sees, जो buyer है इनमें. So that is where the scrutiny is the highest. And these companies historically were also struggling to show growth. मतलब अब एक है कि आप TCV दिखा सकते हो, but the TCV to revenue transmission has actually been pretty weak. TCV is total contract value. आपने कितना नया धंधा win किया है in 1 year. And that total value of deals won in a year, and उसका annualized version है ACV, annual contract value. But now obviously these are large companies, तो उनके जो account wins हैं they're also large, 100 million, 50 million, 20, 30 million. Maybe they go straight to the CFO. The CFO will scrutinize and say that, where is the AI productivity benefit that I'm seeing on this? If on one hand, if all these AI founders are going on podcasts and saying, cost of token is falling 80%, cost of token is falling 90%, 90% of my code, cutting edge code is written by AI. That is not going unnoticed. For that, I think with large cap IT, the challenge is, how do they show growth? Maybe they have a margin tailwind, but you can ask IndiaMart shareholders what that means for the stock price. And then the second thing is also, these are large liquid companies. They need FIIs. Which FII is buying India today for a 5% EPS growth story? Now, I've heard a pushback, which is you have to buy when there's blood on the streets. These stocks are cheap compared to large long-term averages. But history is not everything. And the best example is HDFC and Kotak, right? They did really well when ICICI was not doing well, Bajaj was too small, Axis was not doing well, PSU was not doing well.
Actually, today SBI has higher ROE than HDFC Bank.
Correct. Now, once these banks turned around, you can say, okay, compared to history of 5 times book, HDFC is cheaper 2 times book. But it was at 5 times book when half the competitors were not well run and Bajaj Finance was too small. If all competitors are well run, Bajaj Finance is big, Aditya Birla Capital is big, Chola is big, maybe you should get 2 times book. So again, over here in the past, you got a multiple because you were showing, which meant 10 to 12% earnings growth and a 2%, let's say, dividend yield. Now, maybe that 10 to 12% revenue growth is cut in half.
Right.
Maybe your dividend yield has gone up a bit. Why should you trade at your long-term average? In 2017, these stocks were trading at 15-16 PE also.
कई तरीके से रिवर्जन टू मीन भी कह सकते हैं कि कोविड में जो एक बूम आया था डिजिटलाइजेशन का, तो मतलब even for companies like Infosys, Wipro, I was looking at the revenue growth, it went to mid-teens, as high as mid-teens.
Yeah.
And sometimes you borrow growth from the future to show present growth.
Yeah.
जो काफी इंडस्ट्रीज में पोस्ट कोविड हमने एक सिनेरियो आते हुए देखा, तो अभी हम सिर्फ नॉर्मलाइजेशन देख रहे हैं पी रेशियोज.
Yeah, we are not even seeing terminal value risk being priced in. Like, for example, let's take businesses like gold lenders. There's always this risk that this business will eventually be taken away by the banks or by Bajaj Finance. They get 8-10 PE, but actually they grow loan book 10 to 15% a year with high ROEs. They also pay a dividend yield. उनको 10-12 PE मिलता है. They actually benefit from FX depreciation.
फर्स्ट पार्ट तो हमारा हो गया लार्ज कैप आईटी बिजनेसेस बारे में, कि यहाँ पे ग्रोथ चैलेंजेस हैं. चाहे अगर ग्रोथ रिटर्न भी करती है तो इट्स लाइक अ 5-6-7% ग्रोथ बिजनेस.
Correct.
राइट, तो ये तो लार्ज कैप आईटी हो गया. अब सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ आईटी सेक्टर में सिट कौन सा है?
So second, we should cover ER&D.
ER&D.
So the other poster child, if you remember, of post-COVID was your ER&D companies. Companies like Tata Elxsi, KPIT, L&T Tech, and then Tata Tech got listed recently. These are the sort of 4 big ER&D players.
Basically, ये companies को R&D करने में help करती हैं.
Exactly. They are a low-cost R&D solution for large MNCs globally for whom technology is not a core competence.
Correct.
And the poster child for this is auto. So if you're BMW, you're moving from an ICE platform to an EV platform and you need an assisted driving solution, you might spend some money with, I don't know who their ER&D partner is, KPIT or Tata Elxsi, you will spend some money with them. So here, the benefit of AI is that your engineers just became a lot better.
Yeah.
Downside of AI is that it really doesn't solve an end market problem. If making cars in Germany is too expensive and the Chinese cars are really good and they're really cheap, you can have the best ER&D talent in India. The customer needs money to spend on ER&D. And if their sales are following, and auto business is very brutal, it's a high operating leverage business, nothing will save you. So I would say ER&D has problems which have not much that AI can do to help or hurt. It's an end demand vertical that really matters. And if the end market vertical, the demand is weak or the demand is declining, what are you going to do?
Correct.
So that's ER&D. The third bucket is mid cap and small cap IT services.
So basically, ER&D कंपनीज में क्या चैलेंज है कि आपका जो एंड कस्टमर है, अगर ऑटो ही है, एंड ऑटो में अगर चाइनीज कंपनीज ही मार्केट शेयर ग्रैब कर रही है आपके कस्टमर से, तो आपकी ग्रोथ आना मुश्किल होगी. जैसे KPIT में हम देख रहे हैं.
Exactly.
बट अगर कोई ER&D इज फोकस्ड टुवर्ड्स हेल्थ वर्टिकल या मेडिकल डिवाइसेस वर्टिकल, तो उनके उस सेगमेंट में हमें फिर भी ग्रोथ रेट्स दिख सकती है.
बट फिर अब वो डिबेट है कि कितना डिफ्लेशन इम्पैक्ट.
हाँ, क्योंकि हमने देखा कि LTTS में जैसे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एज अ परसेंटेज ऑफ रेवेन्यूज काफी है, बट वहाँ पे क्योंकि यूरोप में ही मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ग्रो नहीं कर रही.
Exactly.
तो इट इज गेटिंग इम्पैक्टेड.
Or suppose they bought this company from L&T, the parent, which is ER&D for manufacturing in India. Now, the entire IT services playbook is what? Indian cost structure for cost, Western pricing power for revenue. But now if your customer is also in India, then that is significantly deflationary, even if you did nothing wrong as a company.
इंटरेस्टिंग. तो ये तो हो गया हमारा ER&D. इसमें भी प्रोज एंड कॉन्स हैं.
Exactly.
बट अभी कॉन्स क्या है कि यार आपके एंड कस्टमर्स ही अगर डिसरप्टेड है तो ग्रोथ कैसे दिखाओगे?
हाँ, अगर डिसरप्टेड भी नहीं है तो वो कितना डिफ्लेशन आप पे पास करेंगे वो भी हमें पता है.
वो भी हमें अभी पता नहीं है.
Yeah.
थर्ड एंड आई थिंक हमारे पास 4 बिजनेस मॉडल.
That is the model.
थर्ड व्हिच वन विल इट?
Yeah, so the third one is your mid and small cap IT services. And I mean, I'm categorizing this as one bucket, but इसमें बहुत variation है. Like, for example, there are companies that are sort of resellers for Microsoft products in India. Like, this is how Sonata scaled in its early days. I think this is what Oli Tech is doing today. Then there are companies that do process engineering or cloud migration or cloud orchestration. So companies like Persistent, they also fall in this bucket. So here it really depends on what your domain expertise is. If you're a cloud reseller of like Microsoft products, is there really any impact from AI? It's hard to argue that there is, right? Maybe you are selling more copilots. Maybe you are selling OpenAI ChatGPT subscriptions. And so you might even have a revenue tailwind. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कुछ मतलब application development या maintenance कर रहे हो.
Right.
Now, if you're doing application development and maintenance for companies, you will have significant deflationary impact. Let's say you are specializing in cybersecurity. If you look at one downstream impact of AI is that it will get it will pull information from different silos. Like your Claude could pull information from Slack, from Salesforce, from different repositories of data. So that will increase the surface area for cyber attacks. So whoever is specializing in cybersecurity, they may actually have a tailwind because companies will spend more on cybersecurity.
I think एक international company DDoG करके, right?
Datadog does monitoring of monitoring of applications and at the infrastructure layer. Then there's CrowdStrike, which does cybersecurity. Palo Alto Networks is another one. So if you specialize in cybersecurity, it's good for you.
Right.
But then over here also, sorry that this sounds like there is a but for everything, but that is a B2B business model for you. Here also there's a nuance. For example, there's a listed IT services business whose large part of their TCV it has come from a company whose market cap is less than the TCV value that they've signed with this IT services player. I can't take names obviously, but you can dig around and see if you can figure this out. And so market cap could be $200-300 million. The TCV is $1 billion. Now you'll only sign such a large TCV because आपका enterprise value ज़्यादा है, right? So you have a lot of debt on your books. Now that TCV has driven the entire billings beat for your IT services company. So you can argue that okay, near term they're protected, but now what multiple do you give this business?
I think I know this one. This is a mid-cap IT business.
Exactly.
Right.
Now it's a fast-growing company, well-run, good management. Everything they're doing is clean and hunky-dory as far as I'm concerned. But this is execution risk. So what are you going to pay for it? So with mid-cap IT, I feel the challenge is unlike large-cap IT, जहाँ business large है, diversified है, stable है, आपको पहले तो उनका book of business underwrite करना है. और obviously सब सही चीजें ही बोलेंगे, सब यही बोलेंगे कि हम cloud first, digital first, AI first हैं. मतलब the buzzwords come fast, but आपको मतलब वो परखना है कि are they actually doing application maintenance, are they cyber security experts, where are they on the spectrum? Then you have to see कि इनका billings growth कहाँ से आ रहा है. Is it coming from a levered potentially bankrupt customer? Is it coming from a clean customer? You have to do that. And then the third thing you have to do is you have to understand what is their margin profile. Like, are they already at full margins? If they're at full margins, the customer can also see that. So then they might ask for more price deflation. So I would say with mid cap and small cap, there is a lot of nuance. But again, you can deal with this nuance knowing that there is still revenue deflation risk. You can argue how much revenue deflation is, but it's there.
And I think final type का जो IT services businesses है वहाँ पे opportunities काफी शायद से.
Correct.
Which is that one, Sid?
Yeah, so you always save the best for the last. So the last categories I would call like process specialists. See, broadly, forget IT services buzzword. What are these companies fundamentally doing? They're a labor cost arbitrage business model. You are selling time for money because your time is worth less than your customer's time. That has been the fundamental premise of IT services as a sector. Now, within that sector, there are also companies that aren't selling time. They're selling outcomes. Now, you can sell outcomes which are low stakes outcomes, like customer, how many customer calls can you handle, etc., etc. You can sell outcomes that are high stakes outcomes, like someone's insurance reimbursement, Medicare, Medicaid, billing, etc., etc. High stakes outcomes seem to be the least prone to disruption in my view. Why is that? Because the cost of making a mistake is high. The output of the customer was never driven by of selling time. It was always driven by selling an output. And AI is obviously good, right? There's that whole, I think Dario has put that thing, right? Country of geniuses in a data center. But even he admits that AI hallucinates. It makes mistakes. Some mistakes don't cost much. Other mistakes can meet with
Cost a lot.
Exactly. So if you're selling something which is high stakes and your revenue is bounded by outcomes, not by time, not by labor arbitrage, you are protected. So where companies like Sagility, IKS, perhaps an eClerx that fall in this bucket, where it is at least worth studying them to assess if they are truly offering something that is critical, mission critical. What is their margin structure? Who are their end customers? And you might find something or the other interesting there.
क्योंकि बहुत वर्टिकल फोकस्ड कंपनीज हैं.
Very vertical focused. They are just selling their time. They are doing something hyper specialized. Ideally, the end customer doesn't want to do it themselves.
Right.
Yeah. Or in some cases, there is just dramatic improvement in productivity. So let's take an example like Indegene, right? They prepare marketing collateral for pharma companies. Now, you can't just sit in front of Canva and say, मैं ये drug का एक poster बना के बेच दूंगा, right? There are all these FDA requirements they have to stay compliant with. There is all that human contextual awareness. So I'm not saying again they're prone to disruption or not, but you can at least argue that they're doing something which is hyper specialized, which is not that easy to copy.
मतलब इन कंपनीज को टिपिकली हम ऐसा कह सकते हैं कि these are very specialized businesses on a particular vertical.
Exactly.
And अगर उस vertical में growth अच्छी है और mission critical चीजें ज्यादा हैं,
Yeah.
तो these companies might be lesser impacted and actually AI से productivity और भी बढ़ सकती है इनका.
Exactly. अब उनको शायद थोड़ा productive benefit फिर भी देना पड़े,
हाँ.
but maybe their pace of deflation is much lower than the others.
Right.
Yeah. And in fact, I would argue एक और nuance यहाँ पे है कि अगर आपका customer थोड़ा struggle कर रहा है, that might be good for you. जैसे जो बहुत fast growing mid cap IT service company, which we both know about, right? One big TCV gain came from a customer that's struggling. So again, if you're selling to insurers in the US and Trump is not increasing Medicare, Medicaid rates, there is cost pressure there.
तो वो outsource और करेंगे.
Outsource शायद और करेंगे. So that could also benefit you. So now if you look at the healthcare service focused IT service providers, one is focused on payer, which is the insurance company. One is focused on provider, which is the hospital. Who's struggling more under these reimbursements? I would argue it's the insurer.
Right.
And so is that good? Is that bad for IT service company? Like we have seen in other sectors, it's good.
Before said we go towards the conclusion.
Yeah.
Right. एक मेरा और क्वेश्चन और आता है एक सेगमेंट पे और जो काफी इन्वेस्टर्स ने पूछा जो इंटरनेशनल इन्वेस्टिंग करते हैं, इंडिया में भी करते हैं. What is happening with the SaaS companies?
Yeah.
क्योंकि सॉफ्टवेयर एज अ सर्विस भी एक सेगमेंट है जो हमने देखा इंटरनेशनली तो बहुत इम्पैक्ट हो गया.
Yeah.
I think companies like ServiceNow, Salesforce, all of these stocks are down. Even I think Figma का पीछे IPO आया था 70-80% डाउन है. Adobe is also down quite.
Yeah.
तो SaaS companies में किस लेवल की disruption है? And whether someone looking to study these companies, what are the nuances that they should take? And I think इसके बाद हम conclusion की तरफ चल सकते हैं.
Yeah, sure. So look, with software, historically, this was a seat-driven growth story. I am selling 5 licenses today. I will sell 50 licenses in 10 years. And I'm selling 5 licenses for one product today. Maybe I'm selling 50 licenses per product, but I've developed another product. I'm selling 2 products. So that drives tremendous revenue growth within the same account. The sales rep or the sales intensity of servicing that account doesn't go up in line with the revenue. Gross margins of the product are high. So you generate a lot of contribution profit that you then spend to acquire more accounts because उनका जो LTV CAC है favorable है. That is the SaaS playbook in a nutshell.
Just before we go forward, SaaS पे you've also written a primer.
Yeah.
वो मैंने description के अंदर audience के लिए डाल दिया कि किसी को समझना है SaaS business को कैसे देखते हैं so that you can use to read.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly. अब इसमें एक और layer आया. People said कि ठीक है, one way to price is by seat, another way to price is by usage. So for example, if I'm using Datadog to monitor how my applications are performing, right, how much uptime, downtime there is, it's not seat-based. It's how many times I'm calling the UPI. So there's usage-based pricing as well. So why is AI challenging for this? It's challenging along 2 dimensions. One, you may not need to grow seats anymore as an organization. Like I came across this crazy, absolutely crazy statistic where Microsoft's headcount has grown by like 5% in the last 3 or 4 years, net headcount growth. By the way, most of that headcount growth, actually, if you analyze by country, Microsoft's India headcount growth would have probably been 15-20. So maybe the headcount growth X of India is actually negative and the revenue's gone up 50%.
Crazy.
Now think about what that means for a SaaS company. You were underwriting that you will sell more seats. but it's easier to sell more seats in a company that is growing seats. What if the seats is only flat? So you are going every year to the CFO and saying, I want a bigger portion of your employee spend to come to me. So that is challenging. The second thing is what made SaaS useful is a lot of domain expertise. Like, let's say Salesforce, there have always been cheaper versions of Salesforce, like Zoho, like HubSpot, etc., etc. But one of the modes of Salesforce, my marketing team has trained on it for 10 years. I'm not going to replace it because it's too complex for them to learn something else. But now what if their frame of reference is no longer Salesforce, it's their UI UX window with their personal Claude bot or whatever? Then how does it matter what's at the back end? It doesn't have to be Salesforce. So being the sort of defined system of engagement, not system of record, that like muscle memory that you built over years, that was a moat. Now that moat is under threat. For some companies like Adobe, frankly, like the free versions of the product have become very good. So like Adobe Firefly and Adobe Photoshop, we used to edit images. I mean, for the audience who has not tried, please try the latest versions of Google. Like you will be shocked.
I've used that Google Nano Banana Pro. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So why should I pay for the subscription? So there's disruption coming from all these vectors. That's the first point. The second point is SaaS in the US was always given a lot of respect relative to other sectors. These businesses never even traded at GAAP earnings.
तो सीधा sales multiple
मिलता था.
कोई 20, 30, 40
Exactly. और लोग कोट करते थे फ्री कैश फ्लो. फ्री कैश फ्लो में दो गेम है. एक तो आपका if 20% ग्रो हो रहा है, आपका नेगेटिव नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल है तो योर फ्री कैश फ्लो गेट्स बूस्टेड. दूसरा आपका पूरा कॉम्पनसेशन स्टॉक बेस्ड कॉम्प है तो आप वो ऐड बैक कर दो तो लगेगा कि फ्री कैश फ्लो मल्टीपल बहुत लो है, बट एक्चुअली उसके साथ डाइल्यूशन हो रहा है एंड इट्स नॉट बिकॉज द अंडरलाइंग बिजनेस इज प्रॉफिटेबल, इट्स बिकॉज वर्किंग कैपिटल साइकिल टाइमिंग एंड कॉम्पनसेशन स्ट्रक्चर. बट नाउ एज द स्टॉक्स फॉल, वो रिफ्लेक्सिविटी किक इन हो जाती है. आपकी टीम होगी नहीं, मेरे को कैश दो, आई डोंट वांट सो मेनी ESOPs. As Warren Buffett used to keep saying, right? If stock-based comp is not a real expense, don't give it to the employees.
Correct.
See who stays. Right. So that thing is obviously kicking in. So now what people are saying is, okay, if your 30% revenue growth forever, secular, is no longer a given, why am I treating you like a VVIP sector? You also trade on GAAP earnings.
आपको भी टर्मिनल वैल्यू गया?
नहीं, आपको 20p दे दो, 25p दे दो, लेकिन GAAP, मतलब आपको stock-based comp भी हटाना पड़ेगा. And then you see these companies, with the exception of Adobe and stuff, are expensive. Now, if you compare this to like semiconductors is always a cyclical sector. So the operational rigor of a well-run semiconductor company is very high.
Yeah.
So actually, even after these crazy rallies over the last 2-3 years, they actually still trade on GAAP earnings.
And actually, that's a sector which is seeing much more tailwinds.
Yeah.
And much lesser disruption because each and every sub-segment में एक दो ही companies है semiconductor.
Exactly. Because वो हमेशा cyclical था. तो the sector consolidated. And ऊपर से now you will say, अच्छा, but इसका sales multiple for the sector has gone up. But beyond a point, what matters is earnings.
Yeah.
Like Oberoi Hotels has a higher sales multiple than Freshworks. But no one really looks at Oberoi Hotels sales multiple. Tips Music is at 15 times sales. No one looks at the sales multiple. They only cover the PE. So now, if your sector is no longer deemed special, people will say, okay, how much of a premium or discount I'm giving to the stock market? And so if they start doing that, then why should you sort of invest in the sector today? I'm saying all this, SaaS hiring is actually one of the highest it's been in the last 12 months in January. So as of now, the disruption isn't being actually faced at a company level. तो ये एक challenge है. और तीसरा challenge हमने अभी तक बात नहीं की because it's too hard, but you have to still know it. AI is a new form of user interface, right? There have been only 3-4 big phase shifts from mainframe to personal computer mobile to cloud. This is a new user interface. And what VCs always say is that when there's a new user interface, the old modes break down because distribution is now changed. And so venture capitalists are also funding AI native competitors. And now if you're trading at 6 times sales, you don't need a lot of damage for it to go to 4 times sales. You just need the growth rate to fall by 5%. You can ask, like if you look at companies like Avenue, very well-run company, quick commerce आया, growth rate 4 percentage points नीचे आ गया. 5 years of no money has been paid.
Yeah.
At that price, you need perfect.
अब भी DMart का डिस्कशन भी नहीं करता.
Exactly.
पहले सब DMart थे 18 to 21 के बीच में.
Exactly.
अब कोई बात ही नहीं करता.
Exactly.
Right. So I think in conclusion, Sid, is it right to say कि जो भी 5 segments of IT हैं, large cap IT में growth challenge है, ER&D में end customer challenge है, mid cap and small cap IT में अपने ही nuances हैं, bottoms up आपको देखना पड़ेगा क्योंकि कुछ तो single digit P में भी आ गई.
Exactly.
And fourthly, जो आपकी vertical specific IT companies है, उनमें इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ें हो सकती है, वहाँ पे स्टडी करना चाहिए, चाहे वो इंडिजीन हेल्थ केयर में हो गया, मतलब
Sagility.
फार्मा के अंदर हो गया, सजिलिटी IKS हो गया। एंड फाइनली जो आपकी SaaS कंपनीज है उनमें अभी डिस्ट्रप्शन कंपनी की हायरिंग में नहीं दिख रहा, बट उनका जो गैप और नॉन गैप का जो डिफरेंस था अर्निंग्स का, तो वो अब मार्केट अकाउंट फॉर करने लग गई है, बिकॉज ESOP इज अ रियल एक्सपेंस एट द एंड ऑफ द डे।
Yeah, what you have to remember is that now they're trading like a stock trades in a stock market, which isn't a special sector, which
Yeah.
is आपका earnings multiple क्या है और आप मेरे को क्या growth दे रहे हो इसके लिए.
I think all of them peaked out in 21.
Exactly.
There was a 100 bagger company.
Exactly.
And Warren Buffett was also there in the company, Snowflake करके.
Correct. हाँ, और वहाँ पे एक meme भी था, right? EV to TAM.
Yeah,
Snowflake at the peak of the bubble, people said EV to TAM is 1x.
correct.
Now think of how insane that is. That the value of a company is the total TAM for the sector in one shot.
So I think with this, hopefully the audience got an idea कि within the IT sector, what are the areas to look out for. And broadly अगर perception देखेंगे अभी index का, तो I think 27-28 piece है, अभी भी 23 आया है.
Yeah.
And 16, 17, 18 में these companies used to trade at 14, 15, 16 times earnings. So maybe reversion to mean is on the way.
Correct. And maybe I'll just end on one more thing, which is that in this market, abhi in NSE 500, 2 out of 3 stocks have fallen 20%.
Yeah.
Do you really need to enter the biggest battleground the world has ever seen?
That's
Surely you can find some company which is growing 20% where we don't know in 3 years whether, the P multiple is 10, 15, what is the deflationary impact.
correct.
So my point is, unless you're managing a very large pool of capital, why even bother?
And that also makes sense because at the end, these are companies, अगर आप सही भी चलेगा तो 5-6% growth rate,
हाँ.
max to max 7-8 हो जाएगी.
Exactly.
Right. So hopefully that gives you an idea कि how things are looking in the IT sector, what are the areas of opportunity in the IT sector, and IT sector की आपको एक segmentation मिल जाएगी जिसको आप use करके you can bifurcate कि कहाँ पे opportunities ढूंढनी भी है.
Correct.
So thank you so much for doing this, Sid.
No, my pleasure. Always happy to be here.
And to the entire audience, just drop a welcome Sid in the comment section below. We'll keep doing more and more podcasts with other guests from different industries. Thank you so much for watching this. Jai Hind.